and how that can help some of the folks. I mean, good or bad routines, I think ultimately we start recognizing as adults,
Yeah.
these routines, habits, whatever you want to call them, are what build the rest of our lives. And that's why we started this show. And so you think
Mhm.
about, I mean, that in and of itself, kind of how you were dealing with addiction, anxiety, depression, anything negative, and what routines you may have had during that time that you ditched. You were like, fuck this, I'm done. I'm not
Yeah.
doing this anymore. And can you describe to us a little bit about that?
The things I had to really ditch all of my thinking because, through addiction, whenever you are in the middle of it, you tend to think that you're right about everything and that, the world's out to get you. And, just all that negative thinking I had to ditch. I still not saying I don't, it doesn't creep back in, but, building a solid program around my sobriety, that's the most important part. And it's also, uh, getting rid of, ditching people who are not beneficial to your life, ditching people who, you know don't fully understand that, it is a disease, and it is a disease of the brain. And so I, I really had to take a step back and really create an entirely new kind of program for myself, which is going to bed. Well, the book got in the way a little bit because my sleep schedule is off, but making sure that I'm drinking water. Um, this whole breathing in for 7, out for 11 thing, I used to think was like bullshit, but like it's wild when you actually know, like, kind of get into your breathing. That definitely helped me with a lot of my anxiety and things like that. And working out is supposed to be in there. That doesn't happen, but so
Too
definitely not,
busy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm just not beating myself up, and that's just constantly recognizing um, that just getting sober and just getting help, that already was such an incredible step for me. But then just making sure I maintain that every day, is such an important routine, or else I could end up right back where I was, which was in the hospital and almost dead. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and the reason I wanted to pose you with that first, I just think of anybody who's currently going through that shit. You know what I mean? And I mean, all of us go through some level of addiction. Doesn't have to necessarily be drugs,
Oh yeah,
or
yeah,
alcohol. I think that people
yeah,
are just addicted to a lot of different things, and so breaking that addiction, right? And it's weird because I didn't even think about this till right now. But an addiction is somewhat of a routine. It's
yeah.
routinely just popping in and out of your life. And so on the other side of that now, I got to ask you, when you think about really came out on the other end, but you have to sustain that. You just said it. You really have to sustain the
Yeah,
sobriety. And so for
yeah.
folks who are looking for any type of advice from someone who is on the other side of that, what would you tell them?
It sounds cliche, but really you're not alone. And that's the most important thing that really helped me was, understanding that I wasn't, that I don't know, when you make yourself like the god of, like, if you just make yourself kind of the be all end all, and a lot of it is very you know a lot of it's very selfish, and once you accept other people's help, and once you actually realize there's a community out there, there's so many communities of people that will talk to you, and also in turn that will also help them. Once I found all the different programs that I'm in, and once I actually started talking about my problems instead of just internalizing them and blaming everyone else for all my problems, once I started doing that, it really changed for me. And then yeah, I think talking about everything, and just really having an open heart and kind of an open mind about everything is really important, because there are so many people who are out there struggling with the exact same feelings that you are, even though they're not exactly the same, but with the same problems that you are. Yeah, and there's just so much help out there.